The Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest ways to eat, but during the holidays, staying on track can feel almost impossible. Heavy meals, we have sugary casseroles, then there's those rich desserts everywhere. And if you're trying to lose weight, stabilize your blood sugar, or just feel better in your body, this time of year can really bring on the stress. But here's the truth. You don't actually need to avoid holiday food to stay healthy. You just need better versions, dishes that feel festive, comforting, and joyful, while still supporting your metabolism, your blood sugar, and your overall health. So today I'm going to share with you 5 very easy Mediterranean diet holiday dish ideas that you can try right now. And if you stay until the very end, I'm even going to give you a bonus 6th dish. And this is one that's my absolute personal favorite. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anna, your med diet doc, and I've helped thousands of people online lose weight and improve their health using science-backed Mediterranean methods. And I do this work every single day as well as a medical doctor. And before we go over these dishes, there is a crucial concept that you need to understand. Because the reason the Mediterranean diet works so well for weight loss, inflammation, metabolic health, well, it's not just about individual foods. You see, it's actually about balance, putting it all together. And this is why I teach something that I call the perfect meal formula. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is probably the first time you've heard this, so listen carefully. The perfect meal formula is a simple method that helps people eat in a very easy and sustainable way. It keeps you full, steady, and satisfied after your meal. So every balanced Mediterranean plate should ideally include at least one source of protein, one source of fiber-rich carbohydrates, a source of healthy fat, and a source of natural and abundant flavor, things like herbs and spices. You see, this combination really helps us stabilize our blood sugar, reduce those cravings, improve our energy, support fat loss, decrease inflammation, and yes, improve overall metabolic function. There's tons and tons of research spanning decades talking about this stuff. And all the dishes I'm about to show you follow this exact formula. And you can replace classic holiday heavy dishes that usually leave you feeling sluggish and bloated with these very simple ideas. Now, real quick, if you want a deeper look at how the Mediterranean diet supports weight loss, blood sugar balance, and long-term health, well, I'll be hosting a free live webinar very soon. There is a link below this video where you can register your seat. It is completely free, and I'm going to be walking you through step by step a very simple system that I like to teach folks about how to approach the Mediterranean diet if you're brand new or you're a seasoned vet. All right, let's get into these dishes. So, dish number 1, because the holidays tend to fall in the winter months, this is something that I love to make in the winter, and I often end up making it around the holiday time. So this is a winter kale and lentil salad with some feta cheese. So here are the ingredients you need. You need to cook your lentils. It does not matter which variety you choose. I often like to make green lentils with this, but you can certainly use those red lentils if that's what you have available. Then we need to get some kale, and we're going to end up massaging that kale with olive oil, so we're not just eating raw, dry kale. And then you're going to get feta cheese and crumble it around. Add some pomegranate seeds on top. You're going to drizzle a dressing of olive oil, lemon, and chopped fresh herbs. Now, this dish is very colorful, as you can probably envision, and it's not just beautiful, it's deeply rooted in Mediterranean ingredients and history. Here's what I mean. You see, pomegranates were once this symbolic fruit that represented royalty and abundance, even prosperity in life itself, and it is mentioned throughout the Bible. If you're somebody who follows a religion that follows along with the Bible, you may have recognized this before. And what the salad will deliver you is protein from the lentils, fiber from kale, healthy fats from the olive oil, and bold, festive flavor with all those fresh herbs you're going to throw on top. And you can pick any herbs you want. This can be rosemary, thyme, tarragon. It can even be something spicy if you want to put cracked pepper on there. You choose your adventure. Now, thinking about this kale and lentil salad, what would this typically replace at a holiday dinner? Well, often people make something like a green bean casserole. And a green bean casserole often contains very thick, creamy, heavy soup or fried onions, sometimes some fillers that are inside, like some potatoes some folks put inside. And you take something like green beans, which is absolutely a healthy vegetable for us, and then you can easily reach hundreds of calories per serving with all that extra stuff added in. Plus, not to mention, often these kinds of things contain very high amounts of sodium, which is salt, and saturated fat. Now, if you're somebody that's watching your blood pressure or you're worried about heart disease, these are things you may need to keep in mind. The Mediterranean version here instead is very light. It's bright. It supports your digestion and your metabolic balance. All right, let's talk about dish number 2. Dish number 2 is what I like to call Mediterranean stuffed sweet potatoes. So here's what you're going to need for this. You got to grab some sweet potatoes and you're going to cut them lengthwise, scoop out a little bit of the middle so you make like a little boat and you're going to stuff inside. Here's what you're going to put. Chopped up chickpeas, spinach, garlic. If you like onions, add some of that in. And then you make a tahini drizzle. This can have a little bit of lemon and honey, plus any fresh herbs that you like. Now, let's compare this, for example, to the classic sweet potato casserole. That's often delicious, but topped with marshmallows, brown sugar, cinnamon sugar, you name it. You see, one serving of a sweet potato casserole can easily be like a dessert. It might have 30 to 40 grams of added sugar. That's like 7 to 10 teaspoons of pure white table sugar. And this is before you've even gotten to your dessert portion of the meal. And the challenge is if you're eating these really sugary laden dishes at your meal, well, this is what's going to lead to those energy spikes and crashes, the sugar spikes and crashes, maybe even more cravings, inflammation, and unstable blood sugar. But instead, this Mediterranean alternative, well, this is going to contain natural sugars from the sweet potatoes, not that abundant. It's like potentially 6 to 8 grams of sugar in your single serving. There's also, though, going to be the added fiber, protein, and healthy fats from the other ingredients. All of these together are going to help stabilize your blood sugar and keep you full longer, and that's the name of the game. You're still getting the same comfort, that warm sweet potato feeling, but it's a completely different effect on your body, and that's what we want to keep in mind. Are we ready for dish number 3? I like to call this herbed chickpea and farro stuffing. Here's what I mean. So you cook some farro in advance. Now, I talk about farro a ton on this channel if you've never heard of it. It's a form of ancient wheat that comes from the Mediterranean region. I actually buy mine online on Amazon. And so it's not always carried in the grocery stores, but it is delicious and it boils just like you would boil a rice. Then you can grab some chickpeas, which can be, if you decide you want to get them from dried and soak them overnight, be my guest. Honestly, if you're short on time, canned is perfectly fine. And then you grab some celery, onion, any herbs, olive oil, anything you'd otherwise put into your stuffing. Maybe some chopped carrots. All of these things together, it's going to be warm, savory, and very grounding. Now, what's this going to replace? Well, classically, people like to make bread stuffing, which is often from white bread, and they put butter inside. And the challenge with this, yes, it is delicious and it has a really soft texture. It may lead to some people getting some symptoms like bloating. And unfortunately, those rapid blood sugar spikes and crashes, the things that cause us to have a very erratic metabolism and can make something like weight loss super challenging. So instead, this alternative delivers you much slower digesting carbohydrates, meaning, yes, farro is a carb, but it is not the same effect on your body as white bread or potato. Then we have protein, we have fiber, and we have some healthy fats in there. And all of these things in combination, like I said before, is going to help you sustain your energy. So you're really not giving up tradition here, you're just upgrading it. Now, quick reminder, if you want to learn how to truly follow the Mediterranean diet for sustainable weight loss and long-term health, I'm going to be teaching a free live webinar soon right here on YouTube. You can register at the link below. I would love to see you there. Don't forget the link is listed under this video. All right, let's get back to the dishes. So dish number 4 is our roasted Brussels sprouts with garlic and lemon. Now, Brussels sprouts are one of those things where I look forward all year to eating them in the fall and winter, especially when they're roasted. It brings out such a nutty flavor and the texture is just unbelievable. So what you can easily do is take your Brussels sprouts, and for roasting them, I like to cut mine in half, depending on how large, sometimes even in quarters, and then toss them in olive oil, a little bit of cracked salt or pepper, and then you're going to roast them in the oven until crispy. Depending on your oven, this may be anywhere from, let's say, 25 to 45 minutes. Now, some people do like to blanch them a little bit beforehand because that will speed up the cooking time. You decide your method. What I like to do afterwards is finish them off after they're done roasting in the oven with a squeeze of lemon and a little bit more pepper. to really bring out the flavor. This overall can replace your buttery, cream-heavy side dishes at your meal. Those often leave you feeling really heavy and really foggy, and instead this vegetable dish is bold, satisfying, and anti-inflammatory. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Well, what about like adding bacon in there or some other things? Now, you can make this a little bit more decadent if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that, but the concept is you're giving your body an incredible source of fiber without adding a lot of heavy fat. Now, often at these holiday meals, the side vegetable dish is like a corn casserole. So you can already appreciate how this is super different than that. All right, let's talk about dish number 5, which is my favorite thing to add to hors d'oeuvres. It is a baked feta with herbs and roasted tomatoes. This one is literally a game changer if you are somebody who has like a pre-dinner course where people are kind of munching and noshing together. This is so delicious. It is so easy too. All you do is you take a big block of feta and then you're gonna bake it a little bit in the oven and drizzle on top some olive oil, some oregano, other herbs if you want some rosemary or basil or thyme, you decide. But I personally love the flavor of oregano with this. And then you can even put some minced garlic on there. And then you're gonna take your cherry tomatoes that are roasted and you can pre-roast them, even in a pan, like kind of pan sear them, or you can roast them in the oven. And then you're gonna kind of decorate them on top after the feta is baked. Now, you don't want to bake the feta too long because it can totally melt. It really doesn't need that much time. But overall, you're going to serve this with whatever you want. You can chop up some veggies like some chopped bell pepper or some cucumbers. You can get some little like crostata or crostinis, so like little bread crackers, or you can just take regular bread and like toast it a little bit in the oven. Delicious. Overall, fantastic. This is going to give you that creamy holiday indulgence. But what's nice is it has much more of that salty flavor than like a brie cheese. Plus, you are giving yourself a little bit of protein in there too. Feta is one of those amazing cheeses. It comes from a lot of the Mediterranean countries use it. I always think of Greece, but they're not the only place where you can get amazing feta. And overall, this is going to be one of those like hors d'oeuvres or side dishes at your table that's not going to collapse your energy and cause you to overeat in abundance because the flavors are so potent, you really don't even need that much. Okay, now for those of you who are still with me in this video, I have a bonus dish to share with you because I'd like to reward you for staying here for so long. Now, this one is a little bit of a twist. A lot of people are eating really heavy meats in the winter, and not everybody wants to eat meat all the time. Some people don't eat it at all. So this is the Mediterranean salmon with olive tapenade. Now, what you need for this is getting a fillet of salmon, and you're going to roast it or bake it in the oven. And then you're going to chop up and put on top olives, or you can get like an olive tapenade that's pre-made and add some other things like capers and lemon zest and a squeeze of lemon, garlic, could be fresh parsley, olive oil. Anything that has like a super nice, juicy, almost sour flavor is so amazing with the salmon. Overall, this is going to deliver you such a high-quality protein dish at your meal. Plus, you're going to get all those healthy anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats with it. Included is obviously going to be this bright Mediterranean flavor. We know that capers and olives and garlic are some of the best Mediterranean flavors there are. This dish feels elegant and special enough for any holiday table, no matter what you celebrate with your friends or family. And all the while, it's going to be supporting your blood sugar, your metabolism, your overall health, and may even help you lose weight. Now, I want to hear from you guys. We just talked about some incredible dishes, but I want to hear what is your favorite holiday dish? Or maybe from this list, which one do you think you want to try first? Post it in the comment section below because this is where all of us can learn from each other. I know some of you are incredible chefs. Some of you are jarring and canning your own goods. So please share below so we can all benefit. Is it the stuffing? Is it the sweet potato casserole or a pie? Is it an actual dessert? How about that baked feta that I talked about? Comment below and tell us. And then if you want to keep your learning going for how to enjoy your favorite foods, but supporting your health the Mediterranean way, you're going to love my other videos on this channel where I go over tons more information for how to follow Mediterranean eating and living. Jump into that video and I will see you over there.